unfulfilled genius.
Lo que me atraía sobre todo era su forma de golpear la pelota. Parecía casi como si fuera un baile. ¡Bum, bum!
And that was the magic, you know. He made you play his game.
His life was very tumultuous in 1972. I mean, it was very, you don't know what's going to happen next.
You couldn't take your eyes off the guy on the tennis court. It's the Wimbledon final, the U.S. Open, the Great Davis Cup match in Bucharest. 1972 was the key year for Năstase.
Watching him was like going to a theater.
And I always felt Ilie wanted to be loved by everyone, and we did love him.
Creo que Năstase ha sido uno de los grandes genios de nuestro deporte, una de las primeras grandes estrellas de nuestro deporte.
Ilie and Jimmy, they kind of made tennis cool.
And we were a couple of outlaws. We were, and we liked it.
And at the time, the tennis rules weren't as strict, so he could get away with a lot more than anybody could get away today. But that's how he was. And I think the reason he has millions of tennis fans all over the world is because of that personality.
It's not that he prepared to do stuff, it just came natural.
It was the last shot of Wimbledon 72, and Stanley Smith is informally crowned the new champion. But Ilie Năstase will not be a forgotten finalist. He brought to Wimbledon an artist's temperament and revealed a talent many thought beyond him. He was always exciting.
He missed that shot, and I didn't really realize for a second that it was over. Then I threw my racket about 40 feet in the air and jumped over the net, and he was disappointed, obviously. So people would ask me, was it difficult to play against him? Because Năstase was controversial a lot of times, but in that match, he wasn't, he was just complaining about his racket strings.
And it just didn't work out for him. But I think it was not just lack of preparedness, but nerves. I think he didn't handle the pressure well. You know, when it got close near the end, he didn't quite have the nerve to pull it off.
Năstase, will you come here, please?
Come on. Start, all right. Don't call me Năstase. You call me Mr. Năstase. That's better. Yes? Yes, sir. Yes? But I'm reporting you to referee. You call me Năstase. Call me Mr.
Fii atent, ca să ne împăcăm. Să nu mă iau de tine mereu, că știi că eu sunt nebun. Mă iau de tine. De acum încolo spui Mr. Năstase. Băi, și începe meci. Servea Alborg. Prima minge eu. La 15, Mr. Năstase. Zic, gata, ajunge, nu mai pune. Zic numai la jocuri că e Mr. Năstase.
Năstase asked the umpire, correct call?
Can't put my finger on one moment of Năstase doing something, but there were a number of little outbursts.
Now the advantage to Ash. Ilie is trying to let us know the airplanes are coming so close they're disturbing him. He can hardly hear himself think.
They have airplanes in Bucharest.
Dominique Grazia, she's a Belgian, fiancée of Ilie Năstase.
They split the first two sets and Nash won a tiebreaker in the third, and it looked like that was going to be the pendulum swinging moment, and he went up 3-1 in the fourth set with a break point for 4-1, almost two breaks, didn't get it, still went ahead 4-2, And then Năstase came back and won that set, beat him in 5.
He has the match right here on his racket. The Open Championship at match point. And he'll have to suffer for a second serve. Hell of a shot, Ilie Năstase! Off of a net court ball. He is the champion. First major championship title for Năstase. The US Open 1972 is his. Dominique says we'll take the 25,000 in $1 bills and spread them around.
Well, Ilie, I'm sure, is really overcome with what he's just accomplished. Dominique Grazia can't quite believe it.
Yesterday I went back and watched Năstase beat Gorman. Mr. Năstase, sorry.
When the match was over, Ash said in the presentation ceremony, Ilie is a great player, but someday he'll be even greater when he learns to behave better. And Năstase, typically of him, waved his winner's check at Ash, as Arthur said that, just to sort of poke fun of him. He had the body of a man, he had something of the psyche of a man, and yet so often it was the conduct seemed to be like that of a, I don't mean it meanly, but kind of a spoiled brat.
He was the master of clay. He won Monte Carlo. He won Rome.
He won the US Open, and he won the French, and at that time he was the best.
Năstase wins the French Open, taking home the first prize of $15,000. This is the second major championship title for Ilie. Will Wimbledon be next?
Of course he was #1 in the world, because in 1973 and in 72 he won everything.
We grew up watching them on TV, so I learned how to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I learned that Ilie Năstase won this and this and this. He won the Masters many, many times.
Pero yo creo que él hizo lo que le divertía, lo que le gustaba, y consiguió ser único, ser un icono en su modo de vivir.
Și să fii numărul 1 făcând și prostii și ce vrei tu în viața ta, cred că mai frumos nu poate să fie, nu?
His hand-to-eye coordination was unbelievable. I mean, he was a great athlete, run, speed, everything. I mean, playing tennis was easier for him than tying his shoelaces.
Person was very sensitive. He had a big heart, Ilie. He helped a lot of people. He helped. If you have problems, he was always there, Ilie.
Because of the revolution and the war in Iran, I didn't play for 4 years. I did not hit one ball. And then I came to France. I remember I had nowhere to go to sleep. And I remember he was practicing with Guillermo Vilas on court number 3. And I waited until he finished. I didn't know if he remembers me or no. And after they finished the practice, he came out of the court. And I got up and I said, "Hello, Ilie." And he goes, "Oh my God, Mansour, how are you? Where have you been? I thought you were dead in the revolution, or I'm very happy to see you." And he asked me if there is anything he can do for me. He says, "I can help," which was very kind and very, very generous of him.
I would describe him as completely crazy in a mostly good way. You know, he would give you the shirt off his back. People that he didn't even know, I saw him many times where he literally would give him his own clothes.
When Ilie was on the court, there was always something happening.
I think of him as this unfulfilled genius.
lo que